What? It's far enough, isn't it?
Looked at near east myself. Scarborough and Skegness.
Skeggy? I'd rather watch me toenails grow than go there.
Anyway, never mind that rubbish. What about these two birds to east of this term?
NATO's position on the United States action in sending its task force.
That's right, you know, it's getting serious.
Well, there's no we can do about it, is there? Might as well enjoy ourselves whilst we can.
I know, but don't it scare you what it might lead to?
Well, it bloody scares me. There's no we can do about it, is there? Tell you one thing, if the bomb does drop, I want to be pissed out of my mind and straight underneath it when it happens.
From which neither side can back down. Arriving here in Brussels a short time ago, NATO's Secretary-General said he regretted the Soviet action.
Miserable bugger, it's all his family responsibilities. You're acting like a married man already.
You're not belong now, you know.
Well, you might as well make the best of it whilst you can, haven't you?
The Middle East. Whether the
Chatting these two birds up there.
strengthens the divisions within NATO is something we shall know in a few hours' time, when the full Council of Ministers meets in emergency
Be the last chance you'll get.
debate its
Anyway,
response
if
to
we
the
are going to
crisis.
cop it, might as well go out with a bang, that's what I say.
Can't be many better ways of going, I don't suppose. Blown up on the job.
Returning you to London.
And we've just heard that the Prime Minister has issued a message of support for the United States government. The statement, just released from Downing Street, condemns what it calls reckless Soviet actions, which can only worsen an already grave situation.
To the Director Technical Services. Please let me know what fuel stocks are currently held in each depot. Please ensure that tanks are kept topped up and that no fuel is used except for essential works only.
There's been no response from the Soviet government as yet to the United States ultimatum delivered to Moscow last night. The American note calls for joint withdrawal of all US and Soviet forces from Iran by noon on Sunday. However, NATO observers in West Germany have reported increasing build-ups of Warsaw-packed troops and vehicles at points along the central frontier this morning. The Ministry of Defense has announced it's sending more troops to Europe to reinforce the British commitment to NATO. The first contingents left RAF Brize Norton this morning. The day has been marked by a number of demonstrations up and down the country, reflecting support for and against the government's decision to reinforce Europe. Although most of these passed off without incident, police made a number of arrests for disorderly conduct at rallies in the North and Midlands.
The government has taken control of British Airways and all cross-channel ferries. They say it's a temporary step to help move troops to Europe. Thousands are stranded at Heathrow and Gatwick. And the Royal Navy is to guard the North Sea oil rigs. The MOD says it's a prudent precautionary measure.
This time, they are playing with, at best, the destruction of life as we know it, and at worst, total annihilation. You cannot win a nuclear war! Now, just suppose the Russians win this war. What exactly would they be winning? What would they have conquered? Well, I'll tell you. All major centres of population and industry will have been destroyed.
Industry? What industry? We ain't got no industry in Sheffield!
Yes, and if the money hadn't been spent on nuclear weapons, you would have built up industry.
Get back to bloody Russia!
We would have put money into welfare, will have been destroyed. All our water would have been polluted. The soil would have been irradiated. Farm stock would be dead, diseased or dying. The Russians would have conquered a corpse of a country.
Let us pray.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come.
Since the expiry of the American ultimatum to the Soviet Union at noon yesterday, there have been intense diplomatic efforts to mediate between the two countries. There is still no information from Iran itself. No news teams have been allowed in or out of the country since phone and telex links were cut on Friday evening. Questioned in the House this morning, the Foreign Secretary said he had no definite news to report and that it would be unhelpful to speculate in the absence of any hard information from the area. Run on tinned food, sugar, and other storable items, which is causing shortages in some areas. Spokesman for the main supermarket chain said that panic buying is unnecessary. Fuel shortages are hindering resupply in some areas, but overall there is no shortage of stocks. They urged the public to calm down and be patient.
40p? That's scandalous. They were only 26p last week.
You can always shop somewhere else, you know, if you're not satisfied.
Honestly, there's a national emergency going on and all you can think about is lining your pockets.
Look, nobody's forcing you to buy them. Put them back on shelves if you don't want them.
Yes, I will. I'd sooner start first. Excuse me, love.
They've started fighting, Mum.
Who has?
The Americans and the Russians. It's just been on the news. My dad says you've got to come home now. Come on.
Hey, you haven't paid for them things!
In response to today's news of the outbreak of hostilities between vessels of the United States and Soviet navies, a special session of Parliament has this evening passed an Emergency Powers Act. There'll be a special announcement at the end of this bulletin, and details will be given then of how this affects you. The Prime Minister is expected to address the nation on the international crisis later this evening. A statement issued earlier from Downing Street said the government is optimistic that a peaceful, negotiated settlement to the conflict is at hand. In the meantime, the public is urged to remain calm and to continue normally.
You all right, love?
It's noisy.
Must be pubs turning out.
Nevertheless, people are alarmed about what they see as a lack of advice or information from the government.
But the policy of the government is quite clear on the matter. We're urging people to keep calm.
Doing a moonlight flick then?
Go about their business
No, we're going over to our Jackson, Lincolnshire, while things get sorted out.
We all know
I reckon we're